This is just a PSA that you do not need a propagation station that looks like this guy. You don't need a fancy one. These are way too small. You can't fit many plants in here, and then once they start to grow roots, you can't even get them out. Usually these things are around $20 too, and like just reuse some glass jars. I found these ones to work so much better than that one I got from Amazon. This is just a pickle jar. We are gonna ignore the gross Aglaonema cuttings in there though. And these kind of jars are my absolute favorite. They have the narrow mouth so that your cuttings aren't falling into them, and they don't take up a ton of space. You can put them all right next to each other. So if you're looking for a propagation station, just do yourself a favor and reuse some glass jars, or go to Goodwill. You can always find them there. You can see how great these Jacinia cuttings are doing in there. I got my greenhouse in the mail, so let's set it up. These are all of the parts that it comes with, and then these very basic instructions, but we're gonna make it work. First, I just unwrapped everything and then started putting together each of the shelves. Then there are bars that connect each of the shelves, and I just put them all together. You really have to push down to make sure that they're in place, or else it ends up a little bit wonky. You can kind of tell here. And at the end, I kind of pushed it all down together. Then the next step is our shelves. And then finally, last is the cover. This is going to hold all that humidity inside. I'm also putting grow lights in, but these are too short. I thought they would just rest on the top there. So I kind of had to rig up this contraption. I put on the stickies and placed it on this cardboard because the cardboard was long enough, and it worked out fine. And this is what it looks like, and what it looks like with the plants in it. Let me know if you want a tour. Fungus gnat video, a lot of you suggested I use cinnamon, and honestly I was kind of skeptical, but I tried it out. I've had a lot of fungus gnats around my propagations because I have to keep these guys pretty moist, and like, look at that. That is disgusting. Those are all bugs, and this has only been a couple days. I just use this regular ground cinnamon from Trader Joe's. Literally any ground cinnamon will work, and I sprinkled it all over the top. My plants smell great, and it seems to be working. Today I'm going to show you all how I mix my hydroponic nutrients for my houseplants. I like to use this stuff from Fox Farms, and I use it to water all my plants in LECA. First I take a gallon of distilled water, and then we're going to add Big Bloom. We'll then measure out 3/4 of a teaspoon of this and add it into our jug. Then after we have that all added in, next we're going to use Grow Big. For the Grow Big, we will add 1/2 of a teaspoon. And once that's measured out, we just add it in like we did before. Then we're going to cap the jug and shake it up. The final step here is to test the pH. You can get these meters on Amazon or a local hardware store. We want it to be anywhere between 5.5 and 6.5, and we're right between that. Then if needed, you can use pH up or down. Then we water our plants in LECA. This nutrient water can usually be stored from around 2 weeks to a month.
The truth is, it doesn't really matter. Regardless of the season that we're in, every time you water a potted plant, the goal is to soak every single bit of soil in the pot. This is going to help create a really strong, healthy, robust root system. and the health of the roots is the health of the plant. One thing I will say about watering in winter, though, is that it might change from your summer and spring watering schedule. So be aware of your plant as you're going into these fall and winter months with shorter days and cooler temperatures.
Today I'll be repotting my string of pearls because they've been growing a little bit wonky and I'd like to do a soil change with some new systemic in it. I always try to be super careful repotting these because they are pretty fragile. Thankfully these are pretty tough and I didn't really lose many when I took it out of the pot. One thing that's important with string of pearls is that the plant base sits towards the top of the pot so that it doesn't rot as easy and it gets more airflow and light. These small terrarium tools are very helpful in getting the dirt around the small delicate vines and cleaning it off a little bit as well. I couldn't decide what to do with this chunky piece here, so I just decided to chop it right off and propagate it. I'm giving these pearls some bottom watering to get the soil nice and hydrated, and I'm also going to mist it to clean any further dirt off. After I let it drain, I put it back in the grow tent and it looks a lot happier.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doja Cat.
It's been a long time since you fell in love. You ain't coming out your shell. You ain't really been.
Poppies are so cool.
Their flower buds are covered in these red hairs.
And the pollen is grey. How weird. I love it.
How do these plant prices compare to where you live? Alocasia pink dragon $25. Pink syngonium $12. Philo goldie $25. Audrey ficus $30. Rick Rack cactus $50. Jade pothos $20. Heart leaf fern $25. Baby toes $12.